I've been thinking about some of the most important things that you should know before you buy a property. I've done a whole load of